Next, we're going to look at plotting and sheets marked for plotting. Before we get started on that, one item to clean up is the gather sheets. First, let's go back into Drawing Editor. And go back to our gather sheets and let's pick any one, E26. If you remember on our gather sheet here, our name did not appear on here. To show you how that all takes place, we go back to our sheet outlines and let's go to detail sheet and zoom in here. My sheet number here, it says detail 24 by 36. If you double click on that, that text does not read detail 24 by 36. That's $name. And when SDS2 creates that sheet, it converts that $name into the actual name of the drawing. So in our case, we're in our sheet outline called detail 24 by 36. So to fix our problem, we need to go back to our sheet outline 8.5 by 11, gather sheet 8.5 by 11, and change that to $name. I have previously done that on my model, so you need to change that to $name and hit OK. Now, the fastest way to recreate your gather sheets is probably to delete them and then recreate them. So to do that, what we're going to do is exit out of here and we're going to go to utility functions and we're going to go to delete job items. Now we're not covering a lot of this stuff here, but once you get into this area here, I advise you to use caution. Not that you pick delete jobs and you delete an entire job. So delete job items. Then we're going to pick gather sheets. And we're going to do select all and OK. And cancel out of here. We're done. Hit OK here. Now we go back into Drawing Editor. And go to gather sheets and you can see we have none. So cancel out of here. Go back to the main menu to gather sheet auto loading. Gather 8.5 by 11. Again, we're not going to use prefixes. Use the detail piece name for sheet name. One detail per sheet. And here's where we said we'd change this to 30 and OK. Select all. Now if we go back into the Drawing Editor and go to gather sheets, pick any one. I'll pick A27 again. Now you can see it, my sheet says A27. So now all of our sheets are labeled correctly. I'm going to cancel, get out of Drawing Editor, yes. Now we're going to plot sheets and learn how SDS2 marks sheets for plotting. So for plotting sheets, normally I'd go to plotting and here's where you can select what sheets to plot. It lets you plot everything is selected there. You can select OK only detail sheets. There's my detail sheets. And you can see they're all highlighted because none of them have been plotted yet. If I go to gather sheets, they're all highlighted. If I go to erection sheets, they're all highlighted. So for plotting, if I'm going to select them 3 or 4 drawings there to plot, you have a few options here depending on what scale you're plotting them to. These sheets are set up as 24 by 36. A lot of people plot them to 11 by 17 to do a quick check, so you want to scale the plots. And then if you want to plot them in reverse order, and the revision chart, again, we haven't looked at that, so we're going to ignore that for now. And then different options for plotting comment layers and revision layers. Again, we haven't covered the revision, so we're going to skip over that. So then you'd hit OK here, and then it's going to ask you where to print them to. In my case here, I do not have a plotter set up, so I can't do that. But here's where you'd select your plotter and print them off. So I'm going to hit cancel here. I'm going to go back to plotting. Instead of plotting them, I'm going to do PDF drawing export. Same thing here, I'm going to just pick the erection sheets. You can see they're still highlighted because I have not plotted them yet. Now to a PDF file, you have a couple of other options here. One option is I can print these individually to individual PDFs, or I can print all of them to one PDF. If you want them all as one, you turn that off. If you want them individual, one document per sheet, you turn on. So for your class, I want you to print them all to one file, just so you don't have like 50 different files to send me. So we would turn that off, and again, leave the revision chart and the comment layers, everything as is, would hit OK. Then it's asking you for a name. I'm just going to call it test. And I am going to send it to my desktop and hit save. And as you can see on my desktop here, now I've got a one PDF called test. If I open that up, I have, and as you'll see, when you print stuff off, your version of SDSU are using as an educational version, so the drawings have watermarks on them. Makes it kind of messy and hard to see, but that is the purpose of that. But as you can see, I have 4 sheets. If I click to the next sheet, next sheet, next sheet, all 4 are in one PDF file. So that is how you create your PDF files of your erection sheets, and it works the same way with your detail sheets and your gather sheets. Just make sure you know what size sheet your original drawing is, and if you need to scale it, you select the scale button. Next, we're going to just highlight some of the reports. On your main menu, you have your reports area. You have your detailing reports, user reports, and then system reports. We're going to highlight a few of the system reports. You have the advanced bill of material. A lot of fabricators run that after the model is input and while it's out for approval, to get an idea of what needs to be ordered. Then the field bolt reports, there's field bolt reports by different options, by erection view, by members, by zone. Quite a few options there. Material summary sheets, or material summary reports, status reports, then you get to shop bolt reports, sub-assembly piece mark list. Let's just pick the sub-assembly piece mark list, and we'll run that. And then it asks you which sub-assemblies you want. I'm going to just pick a few of them here and hit OK. And the destination here is where it's going to print this report to. So right now I've got it selected to the screen. If you would want to print it to a file somewhere, you can. Here we're going to do to screen. And here's my report. What this report does is it says piece mark subassembly, piece mark A2. Here's your angle, the length, the quantity, and then it tells you what detail them angles are attached to. So example here, A4, there's 2 of them that are attached to beam B15, 2 of them attached to beam B16. So it's a very useful report if, say for example, your shop uses gather sheets and you make 100 clip angles, or let's just say you make 10 clip angles and you get done with the job and you have 2 left over. What you can do is run this report and say, hey, A4, it gets attached to this beam and this beam. Then you can go track down them couple beams, make sure that they have them clip angles on, and most likely you're going to find one of them doesn't, and you'll know which beam they get attached to. If you want to save this, you can print this report now. On the bottom of the screen you can hit print and print it to your printer. You could save it to a file. If you print it, and if you have a PDF printer available, you could print it to a PDF there, or just print it to one of these other types of files. So that's one report that's really useful. Of course, your shop bolts and field bolts. Let's do the field bolt summary. Different options again. I'm just going to do the summary. Another quick report that's easy to run. One thing I like to do with this report is run it before I even submit my job for approval. Just another quick little look, and you can see, say your job's supposed to have all 3/4 inch bolts. You can see, oh, there's some 7/8 bolts here, some 7/8 bolts here, and some 1 inch bolts here. Just another quick report that you can run. And then from this report, if everything's correct, you can order your bolts off from this report. So that kind of covers the reports. There's a lot of reports here to run that you can run. A lot of them are not used. Then there's some other reports here. The system reports are ones that come with SDS2 design data has had included. You can create your own reports. As you can see, if I go to the system, you can see I can only run. If I go to user, I can run, I can design. So you can create your own custom reports. We're not going to cover that in this class, but that is where you would do that. So that pretty much covers your plotting and reports. And again, the detailing portion of it, plotting your details. So if I go back to plotting here, now you can see I've already plotted E1, E2, and E3, so they are not highlighted. If I would go and make a change on one of them sheets, cancel all there, go back into sheet, my erection sheet E1. I'm just going to add a label here called test. Put it there and then save. So E1, go into plotting, and now you can see my sheet E1 is highlighted again. That needs to be plotted again. So that's how SDS2 tracks members that need to be plotted. And that should conclude this video segment.